Welcome Stellar XLM and Ripple XRP fans. We're going to dive into some latest news and developments. CHIPS has successfully launched the new ISO 20022 standard. We're going to dive into that and speculate what this could mean for the future of digital assets. We're also going to dive into a new digital dollar project paper on standards and interoperability. Also, we're going to hear words from D'CENT on Sorbon and what this means for the Stellar network. You're not going to want to miss that. And Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple says that the crypto market is about ready to double by the end of the year. And also, Paris Blockchain Week so far seems to be a hit. We're going to see some highlights. So if you're an XLM or XRP fan, please watch the video all the way to the end and do subscribe if you do enjoy the content. And share with friends and family, because the more people that know about XRP and XLM, the better. Just one of the many reasons I love the D'CENT wallet is the fact that they support over 3,000 cryptocurrencies and 50 blockchains. So if there is maybe a rare coin or a token out there that you're wanting to store securely, try out the D'CENT wallet. There's affiliate links in the description where you can receive a special discount. Alright, D'CENT wallet family, I have a special announcement. D'CENT wallet expands a star network support with ZK EVM integration. Securely store, send, and receive a star tokens directly within your wallet. Enjoy a seamless experience without the need for a complex third-party exchange integration. All ERC20 tokens running on the Astar EVM alongside your Astar native XC20 tokens within a single unified interface. Eliminate the need for separate wallets for different token standards within the Astar ecosystem. Harness the power of ZK EVM technology to experience faster transactions and lower fees for your Astar experience. Manage ERC20 tokens running on the Astar ZK EVM directly within your D'CENT wallet, further enhancing your Astar network experience. If you'd like to learn more, it's in the description. Great discussions and things are taking place for Ripple and one of Stellar's partners in Paris before Paris Blockchain Week even started. You can check this out from Daniel Radwanski at the XRP Ledger's Founders Summit. As you can see pictured there, it was great to see how tokenization is becoming essential to their strategy. Discussing with people who are pioneering the first applications of tokenization and unlocking new possibilities was truly inspiring. And you can see pictured in a vault, that's pretty cool. The Circle Forum in Paris brought to light how stablecoins are paving a new path for cross-border transactions, with a focus on clients from emerging markets who face limited access to financial services. Especially in wealth management, DLT is cutting down the need for intermediaries. This shift offers more opportunities to invest and transfer capital internationally. It's looking like everything's going sweet for Ripple. As you can see these pictures here from Paris Blockchain Week. This is posted from XRP Ledger Commons. Grateful to share insights with the XRP Ledger community. And so you can see there's a fireside chat with Brad Garlinghouse, moderated by the CEO of XRP Ledger Commons. It was a great day and great start for Stellar fans as well. Danielle Dixon was one of the first speakers on day one. Great conversations took place on emerging horizons, exploring the latest breakthroughs in financial innovation for 2024. So this session offered insightful views on the evolving landscape of finance enriched by cutting-edge technology and advancements, such as one of Stellar's partners, ARF. Here we can see how it actually took place, and ARF, one of Stellar's partners, they posted in 2024, RWA tokenization will be a great concept to touch everyone's lives and create value and benefits for everyone. Joining that conversation was blockchain.com, Amazon Web Services, and B2C2. Recently, Stellar's smart contract platform Sorbon went live. Now, how security-oriented is it? Enough for Kale Pale to casually run a fuzz test on stage. This is on stage during a 30-minute Hello World workshop at Paris Blockchain Week. This is awesome.
Paste it, and this is going to run my fuzz test against that contract. And I'm going to be honest with you, this could take a while. Because what it essentially does is take the I-128s for both A and B. You thought I-128 was big, now try comparing it against also B. And it's just going to test over and over and over and over again, billions and billions of times. with those different I-128 values until maybe at some point in time it hits a 7. Most of the time that I've run this, it'll find it in like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. But again, that I-128 is a very large value. But assuming that it hits it, and sometime it will, again, when you're running these contracts, these values mean things. I'm not a very smart programmer, but I know it means like the number of branches that it's touched, like the number of variants that it's covered. So you want to see that number slowly starting to stabilize, where you get some sense that all of the different possible branches that could be tested in your contract have been tested. Oh, we hit an error. What was the error? Our input. I mean, look at this number. That's what an I-128 gets you. That's massive. Good luck trying to find that happenstance. But then look at B. It was a 7.
Post from John Ho, who's head of legal financial markets at Standard Chartered Bank. Now, he comments on this article from the Digital Dollar Project and Atlantic Council. Now, why is this a big deal? Because Ripple is one of the technologies or companies behind this project, and I'll show you in just a moment. Over the recent years, the financial sector has experienced a significant shift in the rise of digital assets, signaling a transformation in the global financial landscape. And anybody who's been studying that knows that. Everything is changing. The future of finance will encompass both sovereign and non-sovereign digital currencies operating on centralized and decentralized networks, promising increased efficiency, inclusion, transparency, and choice in global payments. That's a kicker right there. Choice. It's going to give a lot of these institutions more choices, as I went over. You know, if they don't want to have something settled in a certain currency, they have that choice. Now, to realize these benefits, the international community must establish interoperability. What does Brad Garlinghouse and many that are in the blockchain industry talk about? You have to have interoperability. So interoperability standards is going to be important. Prioritizing speed, scalability, and resilience with the adaptable configurations based on policy and economic factors. A working paper initiated by the Digital Dollar Project and Atlantic Council's Geoeconomic Center serves as a foundation step towards global dialogue on digital asset standards. And I just want to highlight this here. The paper, stemming from a November 2023 global convening, reflects feedback from the conference and subsequent outreach, incorporating the latest developments in standard setting efforts worldwide. So it was from 2023 global convening. Well, two of the technologies that were demonstrating from a fintech hub was Ripple and Stellar. Stellar was also part of that convening. Now, I'm going to put the link to the article in the description so you can read through it. Proliferation of centralized digital currencies, or CBDCs, emphasizes the need for harmonized approaches in their development, adoption, and regulation across technical, regulatory, and governance realms. Late last year, the Digital Dollar Project also showcased a fintech hub with two of the technologies that were demonstrating was Ripple's technology and also Stellar. The FinTech Hub enables attendees to gain hands-on experience with the technical infrastructure driving the modernization of money. They showcased 15 prominent companies, including, I highlighted right there, you can see Ripple and the SDF. Ripple is no stranger to the Digital Dollar Project, and in fact, they participated and were heavily involved in the Digital Dollars Project Sandbox, or CBDC Sandbox program. Just recently, I went over Ripple's new stablecoin. Now let's dive into this Coinpedia article. It shows how it's set to shake up Tether's dominance. Stablecoins, cryptocurrencies tied to stable assets like the US dollar, have become incredibly popular. Riding this wave, Ripple, known for the XRP ledger, has announced the launch of its own USD-backed stablecoin. This move has raised questions about Ripple's intentions and its impact on the wider cryptocurrency scenes. Ripple's strategic move analysis see that Ripple's entry into the stablecoin market as a smart move given its huge potential. Crypto analyst Teddy Fuse highlighted on Twitter that the stablecoin market has grown to a massive $150 billion. Ripple aims to grab a piece of the pie and attract new users and liquidity to the XRP ledger. Will Tether pose a challenge? USDT is a big player in the stablecoins race, with a recent $1 billion boosted to reinforce its position. However, Ripple's stablecoin offers a promising alternative with greater transparency compared to Tether's controversies. That is true. Before I go on, go ahead and comment down below. What are your thoughts? Could this be the demise of Tether? Could this be the beginning of the end of Tether? There's concern about how Ripple's stablecoin might affect XRP, the native token of the XRP ledger, but experts believe they can coexist and even help each other. The stablecoin could broaden XRP's user base and increase network activity. I want to stop right there. I totally agree with that. I think this is a great thing for the ecosystem, allows more options. So Ripple's main goal is to smooth cross-border payments. Their stablecoin could play a key role providing a fast, cheap, and reliable option for international transactions. With its USD-backed stablecoin, Ripple isn't just making waves, it's reshaping the future of digital finance. Big statement for the crypto industry from Brad Garlinghouse. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said he expects the entire value of the crypto market to double this year, citing the arrival of the first U.S. spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, and upcoming so-called Bitcoin halving. The overall market cap of the crypto industry is easily predicted to double by the end of this year, as it's impacted by all those macro factors Garlinghouse said. One of the other factors Garlinghouse sees pushing the crypto market to new highs is the possibility of positive regulatory momentum in the United States. Smart contracts on Stellar is a game changer for the ecosystem. Now, Sorbon, Stellar's smart contract platform, has only been live for a couple weeks. Let's hear from Danielle Dixon on what this means for the Stellar network.
We're just a few weeks into the launch of Sorbon, Stellar's smart contracts platform. Explain this update to Stellar's network for people who are unfamiliar, and also how it's going so far.
Yeah, hands down, this is the biggest thing that's happened on Stellar since its inception. Stellar has an awesome payments network and a really robust practice with respect to being able to send and receive value very inexpensively, securely. And there are over 15 billion operations on the network, but there wasn't a smart contract platform. So there wasn't this space where developers could come and just sort of build what they wanted to build and how they wanted to build it. And so we really wanted to create that greenfield space for builders to be able to do that. And so we did that. And it's been about 2 weeks that Sorbon's been live. And it's been pretty awesome to see, not just even beforehand, we had testnet where folks were already building. We had 190 projects building there that are moving over to mainnet. But just to see, even at the inception of since March, since we brought it live, we've seen like really, really important financial building blocks like automated market makers. We've seen lending and borrowing protocols already come. We've seen data access tools like oracles, and then the reverse of that, so indexers that are looking at data on the network. And then, of course, like a really, really important part for us is the tooling, support, and infrastructure, like security audit firms and block explorers. Those are really important to be able to show the robustness of Sorbon. So it's been really fun to see all these different players, these new players come to Stellar. And it's, we weren't the first, but I certainly think it's the best.
Can you talk a little bit about the speed of adoption? There's the Sorbon Adoption Fund, which is investing $100 million into projects using the smart contracts platform. Talk about the speed of development on the network, especially as we just had this period of crypto winter where it was all about, heads down and build. What does that look like on Stellar?
Yeah, well, so I mean, during that period, so Stellar has always been really focused on the real world use cases and really focused on, and we've seen like a huge adoption of real world assets on the network. So you see Franklin Templeton and Wisdom Tree and other players out there that are bringing their assets to the network for good reason, because it's a very secure network for them to be able to do that on. And they like the tech stack that's there, and they've been able to leverage a lot of the compliance tools for it from a real world asset standpoint. So we've seen really fascinating adoption just on what we used to call classic Stellar, but really, which is just the payments platform for Stellar. And now with Sorbon, we see the opportunity to kind of have everyday financial services. And so we were really excited about all the different participants that came. Sorbon is built with Rust and WASM, so we're really leveraging communities that already exist. It's not new languages that you needed to learn to be able to build on Sorbon. And so we have these really great tools that are already on the network that have just spent a bunch of time. It took us about 1.5 to 2 years to be able to get Sorbon live. But during that time, we had developers pull all the way through with us. And so to have them now move to mainnet has been pretty great. So the adoption of the Stellar network has been pretty remarkable. I've been here for 5 years now, and it's just been, we went from, when I first started, we hadn't yet even reached 1 billion operations on the network, and now we're doing 1 billion operations a month. And so it's a pretty remarkable difference just over that time period. And now with Sorbon, it's just going to be supercharged.
What does competition look like for Stellar? Are you focused on the Solanas and Polygons and Ethereums, or are you really focused more on TradFi as competition and bringing a new wave of finance or of tokenization?
That's such a great question. When you think about TradFi, I think about TradFi as an opportunity for them to be able to use this really amazing technology. So I think about us enhancing and them enhancing. The enhancement goes both ways in terms of using blockchain to enhance what they've built, but also that we get to be able to bring these really wonderful assets to participants that may not have before had access to it. And so that's the promise and the value of blockchain. So I don't think of like TradFi as necessarily competition. I think of them as like a user of this tech stack to be able to make it and to really bring it to market in a fascinating way. In terms of the chains that are out there, certainly I look at Solana as competition for Stellar, but I actually really rejoice in the notion of competition. Stellar is a network where you can always see that there are problems that are being solved by developers all over the world that are real problems, that are challenges that are put forth by local users that they want to be able to solve, and developers can use this global public network to be able to do that. So if you want to actually see where humans are engaging with blockchain in a way that was the original inception of blockchain, which was it was going to make it so that the world was sort of globalless, and that users who didn't actually have bank accounts or credit cards and didn't have access to those everyday financial services could gain that access through blockchain. Then you got to look on Stellar, because that is where everyday financial services are happening. There are lots of other benefits on other chains, but the truth of the matter is the on and off ramps, all the things that are important and necessary to be able to bring this technology to humans, it's available on Stellar. And that's not the case for other chains. So I think that everybody's got sort of their own thing that they're focused on. We have always been heads down focused on delivering this kind of value, and we're going to continue to do that.
You talked about how a lot of traditional financial partners, or you want a lot of traditional financial partners, and one of the things that they're really beholden to are regulations, and it seems like they are still unsure of where the regulation stands for a lot of the crypto industry. How are you thinking about regulation for your platform and for building this technology with TradFi?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think compliance is such an important piece of it. And so regulators are going to want to see compliance tools. Those are built into Stellar. So that's been something that the developers in the ecosystem around Stellar have focused on from the early days, is really putting those compliance tools in play so that it could be leveraged by regulated financial institutions. I think that policy around this, particularly in the US, is complicated. I mean, I've been advocating for and really pushing for stablecoin legislation in the US for probably 2.5 years now. And I thought it was low-hanging fruit, and we haven't actually seen it come to fruition yet, although I'm still hopeful that it will this year before the summer. So I think that it's really just understanding the regulatory environment, making sure that blockchain is not actually looked at as different or unique, because it is just the tech stack. It is the tech stack that traditional financial institutions can leverage to be able to bring their products and services to end users and businesses. And so we have done ourselves a bit of a disservice by focusing so much on the technology and not on the outcome as an industry. And really what we're trying to do now is, what is the outcome that you're trying to regulate? What is the focus that you're trying to get to and protect against? Don't think about the tech stack, because that's somewhat irrelevant to the outcome, so long as the tech stack is actually driving that value. So we're really trying to think and work with regulators from that standpoint, instead of from the, let's break down every piece of blockchain technology, because, we didn't do that back in the days of the early days of the web. That's how we were able to get and be able to manipulate and leverage all the different technologies that the web offered. And we need to be able to let that flourish while we're still focusing on the outcomes that we want to protect against from a regulatory standpoint.
Final question for me. What's next for Stellar this year? What are you most excited about for your business?
Oh, well, I'm just really, really excited about Sorbon and really seeing that that ecosystem grow and grow and flourish. I think that it is, the adoption fund is something that we think that we're going to spend a bunch of time and energy on, and really bringing different protocols and companies to Sorbon. But mostly, I just think that this is going to drive so much opportunity for everyday financial services, and to be able to bring those to users and consumers all over the world that don't actually have the same access that folks do in the Western countries. So I'm just really excited about that, and I think that this is going to be quite a year for Stellar and for the ecosystem at large.
Huge news for the world of digital assets, because the ISO 20022 message format, the new format, includes digital assets to be used as a form of payment. Now, somebody might rebuttal saying, oh, well, they're not specifically talking about that. They're talking about settling in US dollars. You have to get to that point. One of the things of the ISO 20022 message format is it allows the integration of digital assets. It's not just enriched data and other features. They are including it. But we're not going to just start sending digital assets from day one. They're not going to go full blown and open up the floodgates like a lot of people are talking about. I do believe we're going to get to a point where a lot of financial institutions are going to start leveraging the digital assets. But until we get to that point, this is great news. We got to get through this barrier in order to get to that point. So this is definitely bullish. So CHIPS Network successfully migrates to ISO 20022 message format. Let's dive into this article to learn more. So the adoption of the format by the CHIPS Network enhances the efficiency of payments processing, allows participants and end user customers to glean value from enriched data content, such as extended remittance information, enables users to query structured message formats for multiple purposes, including sanctions and compliance screening, and supports the dollar as a global reserve and settlement currency. Until they get a point where they can start leveraging different digital assets. For example, what if somebody doesn't want to have it settled in US dollars? They want, we could have it settled in this now. There you go. So I want to go over this highlighted area. The CHIPS Network is a premier USD clearing and settlement system for international payment activity, with 95% of CHIPS payments being the USD leg of funds transfer that begins or ends in another country, and the first high-value payment system in the United States to adopt the new messaging format. The successful migration to messages using the ISO 20022 standard means that CHIPS messages now aligns with message formats used by other global high-value payment systems, substantially enhancing the efficiency and information content of cross-border payments. We are excited to implement ISO 20022 as it will improve payment transparency and accelerate payment delivery with its increased data load and structured content, resulting in better experience for our clients, CHIPS participants, and the industry, said Thomas, the HSBC North American head of Global Payment Solutions. The CHIPS implementation of ISO 20022 aligns with the global direction of the industry and positions CHIPS participants to provide value add services that align to client needs, right this way. Now it's going to give these institutions the option to leverage digital assets. But like I said before, as time goes on and more institutions start leveraging digital assets, I only see this as being a good thing. Well, XRP and XLM fans, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do consider subscribing so you can stay up to date with future content from Token Topics.